Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to another exciting installment of Breakfast in Dublin, where I would like to point out, Native American martial arts is not a brawl specialty, and will never be a brawl specialty. I had to do it, Tim, for science. This evening's scene is going to take place at the Brazen Head, one of the more historic bars in the centre of Dublin, upon the banks of the River Liffey. It's about 150 meters down from the historic Halfpenny Bridge, one of the oldest crossings across that murky, muddy, brown expanse of water. The Ducti, the council of which are now gathered, have met in order to discuss, well, the war in general, their own personal plans. Inside the Brazen Head, they have taken up the private rooms at the very, very back in order to make sure that they are left suitable privacy for this evening's discussions. We will join them as they begin to speak.
Well, thank you all for coming. I hope we all enjoyed the night of festivities.
Nobody died, so it was a bit boring.
Well, someone may have got be under a death sentence at least, if that makes it less boring for you.
Just giving the amused smile.
So poor old Caspian. What do you think his chances are?
Just a grin. Just looks around the table watching everybody.
Anyone?
Oh, terribly sorry, Nathan. You are coming in a bit quiet for me. So if you did ask something, I didn't catch it.
Oh, a moment. I've just... Is that better? Is that better?
Yeah, way better.
Okay, great. So I had to change mics. Right. Okay. Where was I? Yeah. So, poor old Cassian. Eh? What do you think his chances are? Anyone? Well, he did tell me his plan, and it's a plan. It should still stir the Hornets up, but I'm not sure it's going to be much more than that.
Coincidentally, I don't know if this filtered out. Did yesterday when we had the blood feast, did Solon go out and give the general announcement from the bishops, or did he not? Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if it happened or not.
If it happened, I probably don't remember it. So what was it?
It happened just after you left him. Like, you just popped out and Solon just came in.
I will repeat it verbatim. By order of the Council of Bishops and Her Excellency the Archbishop, the individual known as, I just have to get his, Cassian
Santino.
Santino, thank you, has 1 month in order to bring the now defunct sheriff of...
It was 7 days.
Well, 1 week, 7 days, but yeah. Has 7 days in order to bring the now defunct bishop, or the now defunct sheriff of Dublin City, to them in chains, or else he himself is to be bat hunted across the city for the general amusement of all, in order to atone for his foolish words. For the record, a bat hunt is very similar to a blood hunt. The only difference is the Sabbat view it more as a sport than as a solemn commitment.
So it's more of a, you fucked up, so for our amusement, we're going to hunt you down and kill you.
Yes, essentially.
I'll probably eat, but... Well, if no one else has anything else to add on the matter, I suppose we should move on. I mean, I have made it clear to him that if he feels he needs a little help, we're happy to hear his requests. He seems to think he might be able to find the target, but the taking it down will be the hard part for him. But still, he's not here, and if no one else has got anything to say, so I know I believe the bishop has awarded us all some domains. How's everyone getting
Do we
on?
know what he?
I'm sorry,
Do
Joel?
we know what Do we know what Cassian said to cause such an offence?
Yes, I was present at the time. He chose his words poorly. The Sabbat have been trying to find the Nosferatu Primogen and Sheriff known as Hennessy, who is still at large in the city coordinating camera activity, we believe. And they haven't found him so far. He's believed to be still alive and active. And he boasted that he had a way to do it, or that would possibly do it. And that was taken badly, that it was implied that the whole of the Sabbat of Dublin were incompetent.
Ouch.
Huh.
So he spoke very rashly to a bishop on one occasion, as far as I know. Maybe he's got a track record I don't know about. Maybe the bishop has prior history with him. I believe his play involves some dermatological thing I don't quite understand, but the bishop said it had already been tried. So I believe his next plan involved all the bodies for the feast. He was planning to raise them as zombies. But anyway, he could probably explain his own plans if he wants help. It's not for me to talk behind his back. Any more than we already have?
Should probably turn and look at his retinue, almost like waiting on him to speak.
At that reply, Jack simply coughs and mentions, "Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your concern for our hopefully not late Ductus. Indeed, he is hard at work in finding a way to locate this so-called Hennessy, which, by the way, we've discovered isn't even his real name. A shocker, indeed."
If he wanted to find me, he literally only had to ask.
Jack,
I'm blood buffing my decks.
Yeah, there we go.
Holy shit.
Well,
Actually, wait. Oh, wait a minute. I'm a Zemethi this. Unless someone's gonna pop off right now. Is anyone gonna pop off right now?
Elias
I mean,
will
there's
buy
this.
time.
I mean, if that person is actually there, yeah, Mila slowly stands. You know what I mean? It's like,
I
Veronica-
mean,
Basically,
Yeah.
you will all be seated at a circular table, a large circular table that looks as if it's been set out for a meeting. So you will all have glasses in front of you, despite the fact you obviously don't drink, etc. You'll all have little dossiers in front of you, and there will be a few chairs that have been that are placed around the table that are suitably empty. Basically, these are just, you would assume that they weren't exactly sure how many people were coming to the meeting, or when you asked for the space that they were occupied, that they didn't know how many people were coming, so they just put some extra chairs. This figure, who wasn't there a moment ago, will be seated in the chair at the furthest end of the circle. He has a drink in his hand.
Jack replies with, "Well, yes, he has asked, but unfortunately the dead have not been talkative. I see, however, that you are far more inclined for conversation."
Oh, absolutely. Where are my
Good
manners?
evening.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance. Marcus Hennessy, Nosferatu, at your service.
You say you are at our service, yet you begin our conversation with lies?
As it stands, you are currently guests in my master's domain. I merely wish to be hospitable.
Uh-oh. He used the magic word.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
so Evan, is there
Hello?
these glasses, these things we can drink from if we drunk? They're made of glass, right?
Well,
Yes.
they're not in plastic.
Which means that they can be broken and used as an impromptu weapon.
So before American does that, Zoran's gonna say something loud.
Just Just calm down. This gentleman's clearly come to talk to us and wishes to converse. Let's hear it. Let's let him say what he wants to say to us.
The Bruja is vibrating, like literally vibrating. That's all I'm going to say, man. You know what I mean?
Not only are
The
we,
gangrel is a hair's breadth away from popping his claws. So
not only are we seemingly a guest in his master's domain, as he has said, but he was either silly enough to come here, or he was smart enough to have some sort of backup.
That, or I'm entirely confident that none of you pose a threat to me.
Elias will growl.
Thank you for joining us.
However, your friend is indeed correct. I am here to speak.
Well, I'm sure we'll be more than happy to hear you out. Please go on.
Wonderful. Shall we all sit down and behave like civilized people?
I would dream of nothing less.
Excellent. I beg your pardon. Zorana Zagorak. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
You as well, Mr. Hennessy. There is a head tilt, because, it's always weird when someone knows your name before you introduce yourself.
Right?
He will lean back in his chair, and he will put down... He's actually drinking whiskey, which if any of you look... Yes, it will be Hennessy whiskey. Hey,
Of course he's drinking Hennessy.
he will say...
Hey, now I'm thinking... Barely Marcus Black now, shit.
Now then, if you must know, well, I must say, the security that you place around your new communal, I suppose you would call it a communal haven, is somewhat lax. This is the reason why I've been able to find you here. One of my operatives has been tailing you since you left, but then again, you were unable to identify him. Out of character, I assume no one here has Auspex 4.
No.
Yeah, I ain't got no aspects.
No, I wish.
I should point out someone did in the game actually bump their Auspex to 4 because they were that paranoid with me as a GM.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, right? He will say, so, however, as it would be entirely non-feasible in order for me to, in any way, address or make suitable conversation, yes, that would be correct, with your higher echelons, I said that considering so many of you, excuse me, he obviously doesn't cough, Evan was coughing, I said that since so many of you, I know what it means, and I know the meaning of it, I know what a ductus is, but I've always tried to equate you to somewhat middle management. Is that correct? Is that incorrect?
You just hear the clinking of the glass just begin to slowly break, and Amelia's hand is just staring.
Elias
Anyway.
tries a feeble attempt to calm her down. It's not working.
It was the middle management thing. It's just like you just made it.
Yeah,
50 times worse.
he kind of cringed at that too, and is like, "Are you fucking serious?"
If we're middle management, what does that make you, Primogen?
That's fair. However, I oversaw if you were to equate it to a pack of dozens. So I'd at least like to think of myself as a lower executive officer. But then again, I'm a realist.
And Sheriff 2, I hear.
Yes,
Oh, man.
that was my honor. I do my best. So, now then, he will raise his glass, and he is wearing the mask as is shown there. He will press the mask against what appears to be solid porcelain of his mask. However, you will see the liquid slowly start to drain, and he's clearly drunk through the mask, and he will put the glass down on the table. So you could probably assume the mask is just an element of his obfuscate, as opposed to actually being a mask. And he will say, now then, as I was saying, I'm here in order to offer I would say cessation of hostilities, but that's not entirely correct. I'm here to offer you the opportunity to, rather than face the no doubt fatal and I don't know if Armageddon. I think Armageddon is the term. The wrath of Armageddon that we are about to unleash upon you. If you choose to sway your allegiances to the Camarilla, renounce this false religion, we're willing to be merciful.
The glass just shatters.
Jack just knocks and says, I'm afraid we're going to have to consider other options for your negotiation.
Mariam clenches her fist so tightly that the glass breaks.
As much as I... Oh, if Master's going to talk, you can go ahead, but Zorana had already...
But by all means, you go, dude. He was just going to make a joke about the glasses and the fact that, you know, you're not going to get your deposit back on the room.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, Zorana's going to snipe. She's not going to snipe back. She's going to respond with, as generous as your offer is, Hennessy, I do not speak for my peers. However, I will have to respectfully decline.
Of course. That's entirely agreeable. It is merely the fact that I was informed that I should make the offer. I am making the offer.
I want to make a counter offer.
Ah, I'm listening.
Well, I mean, you're clearly a very capable fellow of some means and skill and power. A creature like yourself could go far. I mean, have you got fed up of towing you into your Tremere Prince? Why don't you come and join us at Bat?
Interesting.
You would have vastly more freedom and ability to do what you wanted to do or needed to do.
So as opposed to kowtowing to a prince, I kowtow to a false god.
Oh.
So which false god are you talking about? Would that be Mithras over in London?
Zorana thinks.
Oh, sorry. If you want to actually ask him questions, then just give me time to answer, or make statements, just give me time to answer. But yes, Zorana, go do the thing.
Oh, so she was going to respond to the kowtowing to a false god thing. She was going to respond with, it's less kowtowing and more just knowing what is.
Oh.
And whatever the equivalent of you called it a prince, yes?
Yes.
From what I've been told, the Camarilla. Zorana obviously has difficulty saying some of these words in English.
Well, technically, Camarilla is Spanish, but, you know, that's entirely acceptable.
She has trouble saying Spanish, too. She'll say, this is determined by age, correct?
No. This is determined by the will of the Primogen Council.
Which generally is determined by age, correct?
He will shrug, and he will say, it depends. It depends on many factors, what is needed at the time and the abilities of those individuals thereof. But in general, you're correct. How old is your Archbishop?
A few good centuries. Quite a capable individual.
Indeed. So is my prince.
Apparently not capable enough to hold on to his city. Mariam isn't the type that usually speaks a lot, so when she speaks, I would assume people notice it a little bit. So she looks at him and says, "Well, apparently not capable enough to hold on to his city."
Ah, but you see, what have you taken? But small amounts of bricks and mortar, the central city, perhaps. However, despite your incredible numerical superiority, and it is incredible, yet still we managed to beat you back night after night as you attempt to take the suburbs. Not only that, but reinforcements you must know are on the way.
I imagine Amelia is being held down by the contingent of kindred around her, I would imagine. She's like a bubbling ball of rage.
He will stand up and he will make a very quick gesture to show that he has no weapons. He will kind of raise his hands to go, I'm not going to fight you. but he will say, in regards, I merely wish to see the faces of those who would be my opponents, frankly, as we must now play a great chess game with Dublin City as our board. Oh, and this chap, what's his name? Cassian? Yes?
Yes.
Correct.
I will be in St. Stephen's Green at midnight on Saturday. I'll quite happily kill him then, if he thinks he can take me. I will be standing right next to the bridge as it goes over the pond. There's only one. Rather simple, beautiful place. I'll make sure that it's the last thing he sees should he choose to attempt to fulfill the edicts placed upon him to live. Actually, hang on. Evan needs to make sure of something. Nope, sorry. Change that. It will be Thursday next week, not Saturday next week, because if it was Saturday next week, he'd already be dead. Actually, no. Even Thursday. Make it Wednesday next week. There we go. I have made times. That's how that works.
That's very amenable of you to give him the opportunity.
I do beg your pardon, but your name is Patrick O'Malley, yes? Formerly of the third... you'll see the eyes close ever so slightly. You can actually see his eyes under his mask. They're deep, deep green. And he'll say, formerly of the 3rd Republican Regiment of the IRA Fusiliers, yes?
Oh, their predecessor, yes.
I see. I will have to update my records. I am a man who believes in honorable accord. I slew one of your bishops in personal combat. If this boy wishes in order to fulfill his edict, I will give him the opportunity to do so. I will engage him in one-on-one combat. No one else will interfere. Should this be broken, then I will be forced to take measures to protect myself.
Oh. I cannot fault your sense of honor. It's just a pity you insist on fighting alongside. Don't you see? This is the elders playing their games, the ancients manipulating us younger kindred against each other. We should be fighting together against the ancients.
Yes, that is why you're fighting me. Good evening, gentlemen. He will bow. Or gentlemen and ladies, my apologies. He will be exact rather. Gentlemen and ladies, good evening. He will bow. Will anyone attempt to stop him leaving?
No.
Jack will interject and say, if you would may, I would like to make an offer. Just out of curiosity.
By all means.
Would you reconsider the offer of joining the Sabbat if you would be aware that sharing information about the prince's location would vastly reward you? The prince is resourceful, but so is the archbishop, and he is not the only one with reinforcements.
He will very gently place one finger down on the table in front of you, and he will push down with one finger, and the table will crack in two, as in it will break spectacularly in two. And he will say, I have just said I'm a man of honor and a man of my word, and you'd think that I would take my loyalty so poorly. You, young one, have much yet to learn. Oh. He will then reach casually into the fold of his robe, and he will withdraw. He must withdraw about 10,000 euros in a rolled up bill of notes. He'll casually throw it into the center of a ruined table onto the ground, and he'll say, "That should cover the damages. Good evening, gentlemen."
You have my thanks. However, I wouldn't want to offend. It was not your loyalty that was questioned. It was your prince's.
I have just one question for you, Mr. Hennessy.
By all means.
Why do you, someone of your blood, serve at Tremere?
An interesting question. I assume you're speaking about the sin that your clan and my clan the sin of Clanshire that your clan and my clan share. Yes?
Yes.
For the record, unless you want to make a quite a difficult vampire lore roll, or unless you're old enough, that statement just goes whee over your head. He will say, in that regard, to answer your question, because I am a servant of the Camarilla, it would not matter if it was a monkey that was placed upon the throne. I would still serve it loyally.
You know, it's wrong enough that she can get there to a degree, yeah.
If you will excuse me, please pass upon my invitation to Mr. Cassian and inform him that I will gladly await him for honorable combat. I will be generous. He may even choose the weapon. Holy crap noise. Sorry, that was loud. Where was I? I completely lost my train of thought.
You were saying that he is allowed to choose the weapon.
Yes, I'll even allow him to choose the weapon. Madam, if you'll excuse me, gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. Please extend my fondest to both your bishops and your archbishops if you are capable, and inform them that, well, once again, I'm enjoying our little game of cat and mouse. This is the most fun I've had in centuries. Pip pip. With that, he will walk casually out the door.
Amelia will calmly let go of the hands that are holding on to her. Will turn very calmly. Just give me 1 minute. She'll walk as calmly, and I emphasize as calmly as she can, to the nearest chair and pick both of them up and just begin, like motherfucker, like screaming, and she's flinging them around the table. You know what I mean? Like she, just loses her shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can all agree that the Nosferatu has managed to make quite a fool of ourselves and has challenged our esteemed Ductus to some sort of duel, which will likely not end well. I would like to remind the people gathered here that if our Ductus will fail to bring an end to this vampire, it is likely that the other Ducti will share his fate, as the Archbishop does not seem to tolerate failure. Which is why I hope we can all agree to find a plan to put an end to this loathsome individual. Would you all agree?
That would seem favorable, yes.
I have some ideas.
And we would all love to hear them, especially Dr. Cassian.
I would share them, however, likely someplace that is not as likely to be intruded upon.
Yes. I'm sure we're all failing to notice the half dozen other Nosferatu in the room.
That is indeed fair.
But this is an ongoing security problem. There are few in the Sabbat who have the power to see through their offuscate. To see through an elder's offuscate. We have no good way to counter it, do we? Sort of well.
There would be one way, although we have yet to experiment it.
I've heard, yeah, that's what got casted into this mess.
Perks up at experiment.
Am I right in my understanding that animals can still see them? Perhaps we should rely more on ghoul animals to warn us when visitors come a knocking.
I believe that animals are indeed capable of detecting, seeing past the invisibility associated with the Nosferatu. Indeed, I've had some unpleasant incidents myself with some rabid dogs.
Quite. Well, there we go then. I suggest we make sure all of our havens have guard dogs.
I'm afraid that would likely not function that well against the Nosferatu themselves, as they have the tools to deal with such animals.
Well, it would tell us they were there. But still, I didn't quite expect this entire beast to be dominated by the fate of poor Cassian and our Nosferatu visitor.
Unless, of
People think we
course,
should continue this meeting now here. I mean, we could adjourn, but frankly, we're going to be followed, and wherever we go, they could well be spying on us.
He just calmly walks over and sits back down. Puts her fists on the table. Yeah, let's have it here instead.
No.
Is it wise to have confidential discussions in a place that has so obviously been infiltrated by the enemy?
Well, we can go and find somewhere else, but they'll only follow us there.
We could just kill everybody in here. That way they would never speak of it.
The problem with that.
Miriam smiles and gives her a please try smile, but go on.
The problem with that is we can only kill what we can see. And our first problem seems to be we can't see them.
My point exactly.
then our only option is to make them draw themselves out.
Oh, I think we've done that.
Oh no, we haven't done that. They have decided to show themselves. They could have easily not told us we've been followed all this time, and yet they decided to tease us with this little piece of information.
No,
Could be a trap.
Remember, no, well, that's what he said. Honourable accord. Maybe, can we use that against him? Is he offering this duel because of his sense of honour? Can we find a way to play upon that honour against him? I mean, there are paladins in the Sabbat who follow a code of honour, don't they? Is it?
It's because he's honourable and he thinks he can win. Or he knows he can win.
Yes, this time. I'm looking for a weakness. Is it his code of honour? Can we play upon that? Can we manipulate him into some other duel which he cannot so easily win?
Only if.
Did you notice his reaction when you suggested that he turn over his prince?
Yes, I think everyone noticed his reaction when I suggested he turn over his prince.
How would such a man react if he found out his prince did turn him over in such a way?
Sorry, could you repeat that sentence again? I did not quite hear that.
How would such a man react if he found out his prince did betray him in such a way?
I like where you're going with this. You'll probably react. You'll probably feel betrayed by the very institution he decided to trust, to entrust with his service. However, what tools do we have to play with his sense of honor? The prince is far more difficult to locate than him, somehow.
Well, the prince has fled. He's up in Ulster, last we heard.
And yet, why would he leave his little toy here?
Well, he's like an awful lot of genuines. He fights from the back.
Nosferatu stay in the city for one reason and one reason only. You know when a Camera of the City falls, when the Nosferatu leave. If the Nosferatu still stay in the city, they don't think it's fallen yet. Which means the prince leaving him here means they still have a very strong resistance, probably in the sewers and in the suburbs.
Yeah, what he said, that we've taken this the heart of the city, but not the outline area, not the suburbs, not the rural countryside. Is that fair analysis?
That is indeed an equitable analysis of our current situation.
Then, in some sense, we are now a city under siege. We've been enveloped and surrounded.
However, we have one advantage they sorely lack. We don't care if this city goes down in flames, as long as it takes them with it, do we?
I'm not sure they really care.
However, it will go against what the Archbishop ordered. We need to bring the people into the city and keep them under heel. However, if we keep certain people under heel, it'll be easier to implement the things we want. Make it difficult for them to even breathe.
Well, you all recall the Archbishop's clear instructions to our next move. I suggest we all focus on the parts of that relate to the domains we've been given. You'll notice I'm not saying the exact details, but I think you'll know what I mean. My own people have made a good start on that, on the facilities in that domain in question. I hope you all are doing the same. We might need to coordinate to make sure we don't tread on each other's toes. Which would waste everyone's time. Is that clear? Or am I being too obtuse?
You just nod.
It's not clear or it's not obtuse?
Oh, no, it's clear enough for me.
Okay. You remember the very clear instruction from the Archbishop?
Just nod.
Indeed.
Well, clearly we want to make sure we don't go after the same targets. That would be embarrassing. And it would make sense that we go after targets which are in the particular domains we've been given.
That seems sensible indeed.
And we might need to talk to each other to avoid going for the same targets.
However, how would we discover channels that aren't quite compromised?
That is the tricky bit.
Well, there are a few options. We can have the meeting around someone who's able to see them. There must be a few of them at least. We could try to use the phone devices, but I don't know how secure they really are. If we have someone who can use who can speak with minds, we could communicate that way securely. Or we simply rely on the fact they can't follow us all the time.
I would rather not rely on underestimating our opponent.
Well, there's only so many invisible Nosferatu out there, surely. This reminds me of an old joke about the world being full of an infinite number of permanently obfuscating Malkavians. And every so often on Halloween, they all drop the obfuscate, see each other, and in shock, re-obfuscate again and hide in forever.
That gives me an excellent idea. I will be sure to credit it to you once and if it comes to fruition.
So that was why I called this meeting. It looks like we can't discuss the specific details here, was to make sure that we don't tread on each other's toes going about our tasks, and to discuss if we need any help with the allotted tasks and securing the allotted domains that we have been allotted.
As
Only
one more
make- Oh no, you go first.
All right. As one more note, I would very much appreciate it if, for this grand effort, any dead bodies that you would wish to be disposed of be delivered to the First Theophanic Order of Saint Metatron Archangel for the purpose of weaponization in this campaign.
I would also like to request something rather minor of each of you.
Go on.
Mariam turns her head to look at Zorana. Go on.
We are listening.
Did we lose the Tim? Or
I mean, it's quite a power move to say, I have something to say to a room full of knife frenzy and Canaanites and then say absolutely nothing at all.
Right?
keeping us in suspense.
Because I didn't even catch all that.
No, we didn't catch any of it, unfortunately.
Yes.
You cut out or something. We didn't hear anything from you.
It seemed like he was poking fun at Zorana, but I wasn't sure.
Compose your thoughts and ask us when you're ready. There's no need to be scared. We're all friends here. And on that note, actually, that brings me to my next point. I was thinking it would be good to establish firm, good working relationships between our packs. And to do that, I would respectfully suggest that we, as a collective here assembled, hold our own communion of Cain for those that wish to partake.
Well, that made Evan suddenly sit up and perk his ears up.
Evan heard Baldery and he was summoned.
That is indeed how life works, yes.
By the way, Tim, none of us caught what you actually said. So what did you say? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no. She was asking how many of y'all had cell phones, because they may be basic. They're, like, ridiculously helpful. That's all she was saying.
Okay.
Because Zorana has none of your phone numbers.
All right. Yeah. Immediately,
Oh yeah. So I imagine a phone number exchange is about to happen.
Yeah, because like we can talk all we want, like we can do all this mind reading and shit, but we can, just send a text message.
Texting
is so useful. Absolutely.
Or Snapchat, unless you're La Sombra, I guess.
I choose to point out it's not like the technocracy read all your text messages. I mean, what?
I mean, like, we can just, like, look, a text message and, like, a passcode to your phone can work wonders.
He's not wrong.
Are you sure those devices are safe, given we have a hostile Nosferatu around? Aren't they quite good with computers?
I would assume that our security is more or less compromised already.
It certainly is compromised already.
There are different ways to talk in code. She's write her number and slide it over the table over to Zorana.
Ah, yeah, this takes you back to the old days.
By the way, guys, I choose to point out at this point, at the door.
One moment, I'll get up, I'll pick up the water cash you dropped and go to the door and answer it.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. I've somebody left a memo for you at the front door, and I said I'd drop it back to you.
Oh, thank you, my man. Very good.
He will hold up a small silver tray, upon which there is indeed a small envelope.
I'll pick it up.
Thank you.
I'll close the door and take you back in.
Once again, this man will simply groom his, will simply kind of stroke his fabulous mustache and leave.
That's great.
Okay. Well. Okay. I'm holding so the group can see it. What does it say?
Are you opening it?
Is it marked? Is it addressed to anyone?
Nope. It, however, has a very style. It has a wax seal on it that is pressed with a wax seal mark that the holds the letter closed, upon which there is a very stylized G.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Oh,
Everyone loves the Giovanni.
fuck.
Oh boy! Let's hit.
All
let's get
right.
it.
Sorry. So you open it?
I'll give everyone a chance to react in case they want to say stop, or do I need to make a law roll to recognise the G?
No, it's pretty common knowledge that that's the Giovanni clan symbol.
Okay. Right. Well, unless someone says stop, I'll open it carefully.
Okay. There is inside a letter. There is no letter bomb. Do not worry.
Okay. I'll read it out if that's okay.
Okay. In the voice of it's very, very short. It's only a sentence long, and it says, "Dear friends, comma. When you are done here, I am adjourning on the balcony upstairs, enjoying the evening air. I would very much like to invite you to take the air with me. Full stop. Signed, Floren de Medici."
I'll carefully put it away. I don't know. Of all the pubs you could walk into in Dublin,
It's totally not like you're being followed by lots of random horrible things.
can't random horrible people run into each other when they're following us around.
It's also because out of character. It's also because you're out of the cathedral, and it means you can meet the NPCs of the city, which is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's where it's no different to every vampire LARP ever. But anyway, sorry. So, well, I think we should have attended that matter, but I don't want to.
He did very carefully say on the letter when you are finished, as in intimation he's happy to wait.
Okay. But I just want to go back to my earlier proposal that I think we should form a strong working bond between ourselves as a group of mutual support and brotherhood.
Is the pack taking Temple Oak here? Should I look around?
They are. I don't think Lindsay was there when her pack was with to know her pack was given it, but she's there.
Your pack is probably going to be the one we're going to need the most help with. After all, Temple Oak is a strong base of Camarilla territory.
He nods.
You may thank Alfred Montebank for that, for basically going, "I am a warrior. I am Clan Gangrel. Erg."
Oh, boy.
Somewhere Alliance is like, God damn it.
Well, I've made my wish clear. Who would wish to partake of the communion with me?
I have a very important question. Does anyone here, because I know this is primarily the Ducti, does anyone here actually possess the dot of rights needed to perform the baldry?
Oh,
Nope.
Nope.
Sure don't.
Make our own baldry with hookers and blackjack.
Yeah, we'll make our own.
we can obviously go
Revolver with blackjack and hookers.
we can obviously go and do it later with a priest. Well, I'm struck by your silence. Is that a yay or a nay? I won't be offended if it's a nay.
My good sir, I think it would be a lovely offer to partake in the communion. However, I would prefer if we manage to do it in a safe environment where we can afterwards discuss on our intentions within the area without fear of the location being compromised, so to speak.
Well, certainly I didn't necessarily mean right this moment.
Of course, of course. I'm just saying as a general statement.
Of course. Yeah, and we may need to go and find a good priest.
Hmm. What's to be our tactic with the Giovanni then? She'll smile, since that's...
I assume no one recognises the name.
OC, can any one of us roll to recognize that name? Because I'm out of fucking other ideas.
I mean, I think that we weren't we told
Yeah.
that we all knew it was Giovanni.
Yeah, that gigantic G, I
Yeah.
think we all know.
No, I meant to recognise the individual's name. What was it?
Oh,
Florin de Medici.
Florin de Medici.
Yes, I meant to recognise the individual.
yeah, Medici. That's a pretty old fucking name.
Well, yeah, we
Yes,
all
it
know,
is.
we all know the Medici from school, but I was more the individual.
Okay, yes, you may make. Actually, give me a second to look at the sheet. Does anyone have finances?
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
If anyone has, okay,
No.
that depends. Are you trying to investigate him from a vampire perspective or from a who he is perspective?
Amelia probably tried to do both. She has the dots in both.
All right, in
From a
that case,
vampire perspective.
if you can give me an intelligence kindred law roll, DC 7 with the threshold of 3 successes, or an intelligence finance roll, difficulty 6 with a threshold of 2.
Okay, I'll do the finance roll first.
I'll do the kindred roll.
2 successes.
Okay, that's enough for me to tell you who he is in the real world, but I'll wait until other people have rolled the vampire law roll check.
I don't know who he is in the vampire world, but I know who he is in the finance world.
What is the diff again? Sorry.
The diff is for the vampire kindred law roll is 7.
Okay.
And you require 3 successes.
I only got 2. Dang it.
Yeah.
They were 10s?
I beg your pardon?
No, I mean, I said I only got 2, and then I added afterwards, but they were 10s.
Do you have a mental
No, I
spec?
No, that's why I was joking with it.
No.
All right, for the person who got him on a financial roll, Florin Giovanni Florin de Medici is a he comes from obviously a very old banking family in Italy, who still exists to the modern day. For the record, interesting fact, the Medici as a family still exists to this day. They actually are still bankers.
Really?
Yeah, legitimately. He's a major corporate banker from Italy and is in Ireland as one of the overseers of the NAMA project, which was essentially the European Union's attempt to bail out the Irish banks. So
Yeah.
he has a personal fortune in the billions, about 1.2 billion to be exact.
Okay. Are you sharing this with the group or not?
Yeah, she'll say it. Yeah, she'll definitely say that. Yeah, she'll reiterate it.
Are there any standing orders with respect to Giovanni?
They've been declared neutral. They are not to be considered for any kind of summary executions, etc.
Right. Okay. Well. If is there anything else anyone wants to say here, or should we go upstairs to the balcony?
I suppose it would be a good moment to see who invited us to a little chat.
And why?
Before we do go, are we making a decision on this, Valdery?
Well, those who wish to take part can do so. If you don't want to, that's also fine. We can do it when we get back.
The idea is a good one in principle. However, we will need to make sure that if we are all doing it, we should all do it together to ensure loyalty among each of us as pillars of each of our packs.
That was my intention, yes.
Elias
agree.
is not in agreement with that. Yeah.
Also, though, in the same vein, there's another pillar that we must consider as well. We should likely consult priests on such a thing and make sure that each of our packs are aware of this development.
That's a decision for your own conscience and your affairs with your pack, I think.
Wish to call it.
My pack trusts my judgment, otherwise I wouldn't be a Ductus. She just smile. I'm in favor if anyone else is.
Well, let us go meet the Diwali, and those who wish to partake of communion can find a quiet space in the castle on our return, and find a quiet priest.
All right, guys. So, as you head out of the room, by the way, who picks up the money that the guy just threw on the ground?
I think when I went to the door, and I'll be quite happy to throw some money at the barman for the damage. We might want to use this place again sometime.
Yes,
Right?
fair. Hey, Tim, are you there?
Yes.
As you walk up onto the balcony, you see this person.
Oh, hell no!
I'm only shitting you.
Guys, hey, we're done.
Who the fuck is that?
The chorister Archbishop of Dublin.
Oh,
That's
shit.
I was going to say that is the Archmage chorister. That would literally be a no, guys. I'm sorry, roll new characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would be. Fuck.
Hang on, I'm just trying to find the picture for the whatchamacallit for the Giovanni. A second.
Hello, would it really? I mean, if we were celebrity all over him.
Do you have any idea how many times? Somebody said this to me once, and I responded with, "That's nice." Do you have any idea how many time delay effects he has on him to trigger in the event he's attacked?
Yeah.
The answer is, can you soak literally 120 ag damage? If not. But this figure...
No, I can soak 2 of it.
For the record, I really liked this picture when I found it. One of my better photo finds. This individual is seated on the balcony. It's not necessarily a very large balcony. There's enough space for you to kind of squeeze on. He's seated at a table, a small kind of metal table in a metal chair. However, he has an exquisitely old, dusty bottle of wine in front of him, and he is eating what appears to be some kind of steak or very rare meat with a silver knife and fork. It also has pommes frites and some kind of, you would assume, carrot puree. And he will look up as you walk outside and he will say, "Oh, Signora, so lovely to make your acquaintance." Please, sit.
Thank you. A pleasure. So convenient that we all find ourselves here.
No, it's not. Well, no, it's not really convenient at all. It is the fact that many eyes are upon you whenever you leave your vast complex of stone and granite. Mine are just more friendly than others.
Oh, and I'm sure they are. I'm sure Mother Island is very grateful for the bailout.
Indeed. Please, do any of you drink? I'm not sure if you drink anything that is not a specific type of crimson, but if you do, the wine is excellent. He will sip the wine again. See it.
Personally not, but I do appreciate your generosity. I suppose it is the same generosity that brought us here in the first place, no?
Well, I should think it would be generous. I'm led to understand that this particular bottle is about 25,000 euros, give or take. But then again, what is money between friends? Huh? You're probably wondering why this I asked the fear.
I was wondering how your esteemed family was taking the change of management of this city.
We are, well, rather to say, Venice is unconcerned. We have good working relationships with both sides. This is the reason why that we do not opt to involve ourselves in your jihad.
Indeed, you would never be involved in our jihad in any way, such as by inviting a group of us here to make us an attempted offer, I'm sure.
I could not possibly comment on that. That would be entirely illicit and then break several of the treaties and the codices of the. Evan has to remember, it's the Treaty of Venice. Yes, and break the Treaty of Venice. I would never do such a thing.
Of course, I'm sure we're here just to talk about purely mundane financial transactions.
Purely, yes.
Affairs of kindred friends.
I actually give you my word that anything I have to say has no relation to kindred whatsoever. However, if you are interested in the enrichment of your own pockets and the ability to arm yourselves in a more suitable way in order to propagate this jihad, I am more than open in order to help you in this regard. However, I would need a small service done on my own behalf.
What manner of service?
Let me ask you a question. He will sit back in his chair and steeple his gloved fingers, and he'll say, do you know what the current state of the Dublin Underground is?
Do you mean the underground or the physical underground?
The underworld, so to say.
Oh, that underground.
Amelia will raise her hand. I have an idea.
Oh, wonderful. Well, for those of you who do not, basically, the three large groups have formed. My own organization, and the enterprises of an enigmatic and reclusive figure known as the Monk, and another organization that has frankly taken over the Docklands from other enterprising businesses, calling themselves the Thousand-Tailed Dragon Shingumi. And I'm led to understand they're Japanese, rather distasteful.
Well, that's fascinating, but what doesn't answer the question. What manner of service did you have in mind?
Mark, you said, sorry, Mark. He will lean back in his chair and he'll say, unfortunately, operatives of the Giovanni family used to control the Docklands, and ever since we have lost that power, we have been unable to move our shipments in and out of Dublin with such candor. Candor is the right word, see? As we used to. So we are simply interested in the concept of these entities being pushed out of what is right and properly Giovanni territory, well, not Giovanni territory, but territory that used to fall under the Giovanni sway. So naturally, your crusade or your Sabbat movement is going to need to form either alliances or conflicts with these underground figures in order to try and dominate the underworld, which is something I've led to understand that your kind often do whenever it is they occupy a new city. We merely wish to be on the victorious side.
I work mainly with smuggling groups in the area. I've been looking to make some sort of agreements and alliances. My pack also includes many other kin to that, so we are pushing that agenda. If we could have an amicable relationship, I'm sure we could do good business.
Oh, I'm always happy to do good business. It's always so much better than bad business. Wouldn't you agree?
Just nod and smile. Always.
These Japanese group, what is their nature? Are they kindred? Are they something else? Are they mortal criminals?
I have no idea. Their leader simply calls himself the Ebon Dragon.
Ebon Dragon. I'm assuming that's not literal.
I have no idea. I've never met the man.
I'll go to the group. Anyone?
If anyone wants to make me an intelligence streetwise roll, they can.
I'll give it a whirl.
love to. Yeah.
The DC is going to be it's going to be a standard difficulty. It's only going to be a threshold of 1 success because if you are connected to the underground, this is pretty obvious information.
5 successes.
Oh,
Get
Nelly.
it. Get it, bro.
1 success.
3 successes.
3.
No successes.
Okay, so for those of you who succeeded, in order to explain, moment. All right. To give you some background, so the Thousand-Tailed Dragon, they literally stormed into Dublin about 2 or 3 years ago under this enigmatic, mysterious figure by the name of the Ebon Dragon. They are a Yakuza syndicate formerly located in Hokkaido, Japan, that have transplanted themselves here. They are very influential in things like human trafficking, particularly in getting things like false passports and European citizenship cards for Chinese immigrants and laborers, as well as supplying much of the sex trade in Dublin with their prostitutes. They also operate a number of fighting rings and other blood sports on the docklands in the city. I tell you what, because somebody got an exceptional success, which is 5 successes, you may ask me 3 additional questions, and I will answer them.
Okay. Ooh, let me think.
The other players may help you with questions if they want.
Yeah, with questions. I'm kind of caught in the spot.
A weird one could be, is the Ebon Dragon involved in the supernatural?
Is the group itself involved in anything supernatural, actually?
How many? Actually, one question we'll ask: how many dealings does this group have with Sabbat membership so far since they've come into the city? None. Okay.
They have actively pushed the Sabbat out every time that they've made an encroachment attempt.
Even non-violent? Sorry.
Even non-violent. They have just been. They seem to be able to identify them, ironically, even if they're wearing plain clothes, and have simply them out.
That's.
That's good to know.
So that's 1. So now we have 2. Have they been actively moving to other areas apart from the Docklands?
Not really. They seem to be relatively content controlling the docks and don't seem to wish to push elsewhere. But as it stands, they're currently throttling elements like the drug trade in Dublin. Basically, unless the drugs are being produced in the city or being refined in the city, they're strangleholding it because they're basically they control the major ports, and they seem to and they're basically regulating the flow of things like heroin and cocaine in through the ports, and then selling it to other gangland figures at inflated prices.
Ooh, I got one for you, and I'm channeling my exalted character when I throw it for you, Torna.
Okay.
Give it to my face. I need it.
What do they need?
That's a good one. That's really good. That's really good.
I didn't catch that. What do they want? What do they look like?
The Babylon 5 question.
What do they need?
Oh, sorry.
It's good. I like that. That's really good. What do they need?
I actually have to think about that for a moment. Actually, this is an interesting statement. They don't need anything in the sense the organization is pretty homogenous and pretty self-sufficient. What they need is to not be bothered, and that seems to be what they're very interested in. They're very interested in keeping a very firm hand on what they have, and they're in the winning position now because they're sitting on top. If they just need to keep that, like if they were even shuffled, they might be just like if they were even flustered, it could knock the whole operation sideways because they might lose valuable shipment. Basically, they need time. That's what they need.
Yeah. They've secured it now. Yeah, they've secured it now. They need to hold it. Yeah, okay.
Rather they've secured it, now they need to fortify it, would be probably
Yeah.
more correct.
Okay, perfect.
There we go.
Well, So, Mr. Medici, just to recap and bring us back on topic. So, you are inviting us to remove these unsavory persons in the Docklands, and you are offering payment for our trouble. Is it money and equipment?
I'm offering whatever it is you deem you require. Money, equipment, blood dolls. I'm not exactly picky. You simply have to name it, and if you are able to acquire me the areas I require by a force, then I'm happy to pay the price. I don't mind paying the piper.
And, well, I think it would be fair to say there is some interest among us. Naturally, we need to, how you say, talk to our people and make plans and finalize the small print. Do we
But of course.
have a way we can contact you?
See, my he will extend a hand into his pocket, removing a business card holder. He will click it open, and he will hand each one here a business card. That is my private office number. It is the best way to reach me.
Wonderful.
Amelia, I believe you expressed interest. I mean, I don't speak for anyone else here. If you wish to accept this offer now or progress further.
I think such an offer and such talks of such an offer, and she'll lean down and pick up the card and look at him in the face. It's better talked in private between two individuals. What do you think? You know, gives her best sultry smile type of deal.
The Giovanni, appearing to have last had a sex drive when Pope Gregory IX was in power, looks at you up and down and says simply, "See." On a side note, I happen to know Gregory IX was Pope in about 1914, mostly because of a Blackadder joke. That is all I wish to say to you, gentlemen. But I'm very glad I had the gentlemen and ladies, once again, my apologies. I'm so pleased I had the opportunity to meet you all.
Thank you. Well, so we'll leave this good man to enjoy his very expensive wine and return to our room.
Yes,
That's agreeable to me.
Indeed, that would be the best.
Okay, well, until next time, Mr. Medici.
Ciao.
So back to our room. Well, what's the expression? It appears this game is for more than two players.
As they're walking in, Amelia will open the door, inspect the room, like staring at it evilly. Almost like, you know, when you were a kid and you like watch Toy Story the first time, you close the door and you open it, you close the door again. It's almost, and she just stare at it and then walk in slowly, almost as if she's expecting something to jump out at her.
Well,
Hey, weird question, Evan.
mm,
Can I make an attack roll against an obfuscated vampire that may or may not be there?
It doesn't work because your subconscious doesn't let you hit them, even if they are.
that's not strictly true.
Oh, so I stick corrected. Okay.
You can't. It's really this is where the old adage is. For example, if you shoot a gun like a shotgun that has a very wide area of effect, and the Nosferatu happens to be standing in the area of effect, they're still going to get shot. It's the same with the flamethrower. If they're in the splash area, they're still going to get shot.
But if you aim for them, you miss. Yeah.
Like, honestly, if the answer is no, it's all good. It was just
I am entirely happy for you to basically punch the air or karate kick the air or some such if you wish.
You know what? I'm gonna do that too.
There is one trick we used to use, actually. You might bear this in mind for your havens. If you put, say, sand or dry leaves down, you might not be able to see them, but you can see the footprints.
That is true.
It's also a trick Amelia do is to pick up, like, if there's been water, pick up from the room as well, because when you get hit with water, as well. So she's gonna start punching the air and throwing water around the place. It probably looks fucking hilarious.
And an option, you don't
if there's an obfuscated vampire there, they better start making dodge rolls.
Yeah. So, or if you have like streamers or ribbons in an open doorway, so that everyone who walks through the doorway has to connect with the streamers, that forces them to interact with the environment, which breaks
First
it.
roll, I miss. I just punched.
Anyway, I'm sure we all know how to deal with obfuscate as best we can.
Okay, really random question. Hey Tim, roll me a dice. And roll me a dice, but before you do, guess the number on the dice, and if you're something might happen.
We're gonna go with 7.
I would have went with 1.
Did you roll the dice, or you want me to roll it?
Oh, you roll dice.
Okay, my bad. Ooh, close, but no cigar.
What'd you get?
It was a 9.
Well, Torna, would you like to roll a d7? Would you like to roll a d10? And if you're right, something might happen.
You know, why not? I'll go with the number. What fucking number I go with? I will go with the number 5. No, I got 2.
Okay. It's all good. Continue.
So, what do we all think of Mr. Medici's generous offer?
He has absolutely nothing to lose and absolutely everything to gain. I see no peculiarity about it.
Well, it's true that essentially we're being hired for mercenary work, but at the same time, the bishop wanted us to take the dockyards, or at least whatever domain it is, which means he's actually paying us to do what we already have to do anyway.
There'll be a particular method to doing that, not something that should be discussed here. We don't know who's listening, but there is a way to win. She'll look around almost curiously. And it's much more simple than everyone will think it will be. And she'd start, like, just staring around at the room.
Well, I hope you're right. The last time I heard someone say something like that, it ended very badly for them. Right, well, is there anything else that we can usefully discuss here, or shall we head on back to the castle?
Who brought the most blood vessels? Amelia's smile. To the event yesterday.
I must admit, I didn't see how many every single pack bought. And then there must be what?
20 I brought.
I think that was probably the highest of the packs I personally saw. But there must be what, I don't know, dozens of packs in that castle. But no, you certainly performed well, and I'm sure you were well rewarded for it.
There's a cocky smile, like, yeah. She stands up slowly.
Well, no, I am certainly impressed by your by your pack's blatant display of dominate. I, alas, have mostly shovelheads to work with.
Spudgun was a shovelhead. Now he's able to torpor a guy with a potato.
If that way is
Elias will chuckle at that. That was funny.
It's all about what you can do and push them and how hard they can perform. Shovelhead or no.
Yes.
They'll be true to bother die in the end.
Wow. Some of them are shovelheads with potential, but still. Potential needs time. And well, we'll see how long Rose makes it for.
If you want, I could help them train them in the martial capacity if you would like.
Oh,
I'm quite strict.
Thanks for the offer. I'll speak to them. Are you thinking more knives or guns or
How to survive? It's quite easy. If they wish to learn through fists or knives, I'll train them. If it, of course, is amenable with you, of course.
Amenable with me if they're interested. Certainly. I certainly wouldn't mind seeing more of you around. Amelia.
Just nod. That's all I have. And you can look at everybody else.
Oh, let's see. Were they discussing training Rose?
Any of the shovelheads. Just any of the shovelheads.
Passing.
Shovelheads in general. You know what I mean? It's like if you need someone to teach them how to hold a fucking knife properly, I can do that.
Yeah, Elias will volunteer. I am able to train in combat as well.
All right, and this is all. Patrick. It seemed like it was directed at Patrick. That's why Serrano didn't respond quite yet.
But,
I'm just gonna go with it was directed at Serrano then. And she'll say, I appreciate both of your offers. If you wish to take Rose for a bit of training, I would simply recommend she speak to my priest Wade first. He has been the authority to teach Rose.
Yeah, Rose does seem to be getting around a lot. Hanging out with all three packs, which is a bad thing. I don't mind that.
Well, Wade was ordered by the bishop.
I was then told she's in my pack, but it's absolutely fine. We'll see if she survives the creation rites in a month or so.
Yeah, just shrug. She doesn't mind. You know, it's kind of just a general offer anyway, so she just shrugs.
Well, as I said, certainly wouldn't mind seeing more of you around, Amelia. I'll have to catch up sometime and talk about times. Sounds like we've got a shared history.
Just smile and nod. Well, I'll leave you guys to it. I need to get back and make sure we make plans for our expansion.
Well,
So,
I'll walk back with you. We can see to the communion when we get there. Anyone else coming?
Sure. I'll go.
Are we good to end the scene?
Yep.
I was admittedly somewhat distracted. Continue.
Yeah, we can end the scene while the pub played out the communion, if you want us to, or we can just roll for it.
To do what, sir?
Well, some of us are going back to do a Viniculcum.
Are going to do what, sir?
Communion with Cain, Viniculcum.
Ah, excellent. Okay.
But we could time skip probably to there. Who is joining us for the communion?
I'll have Jack join.
I choose to point out that, okay, if you wish to take the voluntary, I recommend speaking to your pack priest before you do it. But you can do it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I might be at Russ on the background. I'm a second player, so is there something we're not meant to do this?
Well, sorry.
I'll let Tim field this question. think against.
I mean, it was kind of what Zorana was saying earlier. Like, the priest is like your spiritual like leader in the pack, and typically is the one that leads Valkyries and such. Like, so it would. It's not only a matter of common courtesy, but it is good for your pack to know who you're down with like that.
Yeah, we're not saying you can't do it. As I said, I just recommend you each one speak to their pack priest and see if the pack priest is okay with it. Otherwise, then you get religious schisms.
Well, I was also rather thinking that if it's an esteemed group of Duckdie doing it, maybe we should ask Her Grace the Bishop to conduct the service for us.
I mean, you can ask her. As I said, before the PCs take part in it, I also think it'd be good role play to speak to your priests and kind of get the spiritual advice on how they feel about it, because they are meant to be your spiritual advisor. So
I'm done with
okay
that.
with that.
I'm done with that. I'm down.
All right. So in that case, I'm going to end the scene here. So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another Scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a good evening, y'all.